Hey guys, everybody, thank you for logging in. Who are we?
Hello. We are Cesar and Pam with cesarandpam.com.
And we want to help you learn how to lead your children, how to be their leader without breaking your friendship with them. We've been talking about several subjects in the past. We have 6 kids, and we're going to be concentrating more in parenting in the next foreseeable future because we've seen a great need. People have been asking us about it, and we want to be able to help you as you try to do whatever you feel you're being called to be able to not overlook the most important aspect, which is in your family, other than your marriage, in your parenting. And I think one of the biggest balances that people struggle with is how do I balance being their leader while still being their friend? How do I remain their boss and set the limits and still keep the friendship? Or how do I remain their friend? How do I be their friend without them losing respect for me?
And I think, how does that look as, sorry, having this issue with my voice, keep losing it. How does it look when they're younger and how does it look when they're older?
Yes.
Because it looks different as their leader and as their friend.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about that question, right? Has your kid ever told you, you don't love me, or you don't care about me? Or maybe they would not say it to you, but they would say it to a friend or to another person. I was with my younger son today, well, my younger son, but we have 6 kids. So we have a girl who's married. She's 26. Then a boy who's 24, who's also married. And we have a 20-year-old at home. We have a 16-year-old at home, and a 13 and a 12-year-old at home. And my 16-year-old, I was asking him, what's the opposite? We're going to tell you the secret word here in a minute. What is the opposite, or what would make somebody, a teenager feel, or a child feel like they are not loved, like we don't care? And if you don't listen to them, if you don't give them the word empathy with your actions. So how many of you have had that situation where, as parents, we are so used to giving sermons, giving lectures right away, instead of listening and trying to understand the situation before we try to give a solution? Is that something common, honey? Does that happen a lot?
All the time. I think, I remember, one of the tips that I heard for homeschooling, when you read a good book, so many times we're tempted to read something that has a really great message and then stop and want to give a sermon about it to our kids. And this person was saying, don't do that. Let the story speak to them. Let them take it in and get the message. We don't always have to reiterate everything. We don't have to spell it out for them. And I think that it's true in everything, I think you're going to talk about it. You are going to talk about it, but we need to ask questions more than just tell them what to think, right?
Yeah. Here's this quote that I have in my notes. There are moments that more than teaching, leading, or solving their problems, we need to listen and understand, especially when they're experimenting, they're going through experiencing consequences of their actions, whether it be happiness, sadness, frustration, anger. And I remember one time, all of our kids have been involved in speech and debate. When we discovered that activity, we homeschool our kids, and our oldest were 14 and 12, and we got them into speech and debate. And our 14-year-old wasn't so easy for her, but she eventually became very good at it. Our 12-year-old, he was really excited about it and became really good at it. And then the time came for Nicholas to start at age 12, and he did not want to do it. I mean, he just struggled. Remember that one time when we tell the story?
Well, that was before he was 12, because his older siblings were involved. He was in juniors. And so as an 8-year-old, it came time for him to do his first speech at a little tournament. And it didn't mean going into a room with thousands of people. It was going into a room with 3 older students who were going to give him feedback and mostly smile at him. And he just had to give his, 2 to 3 minute speech. And we had practiced, and it was a good speech. I remember I helped him a lot, and he was ready. But when it came time, there was a girl that went into the room, and as soon as she went into the room, he knew he was next, and he just broke down. And I wasn't just crying. I mean, it was like sobbing and hyperventilating. He couldn't get his breath. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my goodness, am I going to be that mom? It's like felt so mean to just make him go in there. And I just remember looking at him and talking to him and being like, Nico, I'm sorry. It's so hard. I get it. I mean, it's scary, but just trust me. Like, it's never going to be this hard again. If you go in there this time and you get through this, which you will, it's never going to be this hard again. And it was hard to kind of give him that push. You can do it. Go on in. And he went in there. He could hardly breathe and talk. But when he came out, I remember he just looked at me and smiled, and he felt good about himself. And that was such a relief.
So the point of this empathy that we're supposed to have is not take away whatever is frustrating them on, or maybe scaring them, but it's understanding that fear, empathizing with the fear, not making fun of it, and helping them go through it, helping them deal with it, right? Understanding their temptations and their fears. There is an example here from the book. I have some notes here of a mom. The junior hit his little sister, and when she came, mom asked him, "Why did you hit your sister?" And Junior said, looking at the floor, "I don't know." And then she asked him, "What do you mean, I don't know?" And he says, "I don't know." Has that happened to you, mom or dad, where your kid cannot tell you exactly why they did something?
Yeah. I think we forget that they are children. We want them to rationalize the situation the way we are. And we often want to ask why. We expect that it was premeditated, they thought it through, and then they did something, right? But that's not always the situation.
The problem is that we are asking the wrong questions. On the next segment, I'm going to talk about those questions. In the meantime, if you know parents who need help, need direct coaching, we're starting a coaching program on how to become your child's leader without breaking the friendship. Share this information with them, subscribe to our channel, like it on cesarandpam.com. And we'd love to help you, because there's a crisis today, especially with the COVID, with the quarantine. Parents do not know what to do. Many parents don't know what to do with their kids to be able to develop that balance between friendship and leadership. So let's continue. So, what's